How Trump could win the 2024 election fair and square, despite his attempts to undermine democracy in 2020, and Donald Trump is not giving up on his political ambitions. He has hinted at running for president again in 2024, and he still has a loyal base of supporters who believe his false claims of election fraud. But how could he actually win the next election, without resorting to violence or subversion? One scenario is that he could capitalize on the dissatisfaction and frustration of many Americans with the current administration. Joe Biden has faced many challenges in his first term, such as the pandemic, the economy, immigration, climate change, and foreign policy. He has also struggled to pass his ambitious agenda through a divided Congress, and to unify a polarized nation. Some of his policies and actions have been unpopular or controversial, such as the withdrawal from Afghanistan, the vaccine mandates, the tax hikes, and the social spending plan. Trump could exploit these issues and present himself as a strong leader who can restore order, prosperity, and greatness to America. He could appeal to the fears and grievances of many voters who feel left behind, ignored, or threatened by the changes in society. He could also mobilize his base with rallies, media appearances, and social media posts that spread misinformation and propaganda. He could attack Biden's record and character, and accuse him of being weak, corrupt, incompetent, or senile. Another scenario is that he could benefit from the structural advantages of the electoral system. The U.S. presidential election is not decided by the popular vote, but by the Electoral College. Each state has a number of electors based on its population and congressional representation. The candidate who wins the most votes in a state gets all its electors, except for Maine and Nebraska, which split them proportionally. The candidate who gets at least 270 electors out of 538 wins the election. This system gives more weight to smaller and less populated states, which tend to be more conservative and Republican-leaning. It also creates a few swing states that can tip the balance of the election. In 2016, Trump won the Electoral College despite losing the popular vote by nearly 3 million votes. He did so by winning narrow margins in key states such as Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, and Arizona. In 2020, Biden flipped those states back to his side and won the election by more than 7 million votes. But if Trump had won just over 40,000 more votes across 3 states, Arizona, Georgia, and Wisconsin, he would have won the Electoral College. Therefore, Trump could win the 2024 election by focusing on these swing states and increasing his turnout among his core supporters. White voters without college degrees, evangelical Christians, rural residents, and older voters. He could also try to suppress or discourage the turnout of Biden's core supporters. Minorities, young people, women, urban residents, and college-educated voters. He could do so by spreading lies about voter fraud or intimidation, by supporting restrictive voting laws or gerrymandering, or by undermining the Postal Service or election officials. These are some of the ways that Trump could win the 2024 election fair and square, despite his attempts to undermine democracy in 2020, and of course, this does not mean that he will win or that he should win. It only means that he has a chance to win if he plays his cards right and if the circumstances favor him. The outcome of the election will depend on many factors, such as the state of the country and the world, the performance and popularity of Biden, the policies and platforms of both candidates, the campaigns and debates, the media coverage and public opinion, and ultimately, the will of the voters.